Hello, welcome back again, and we're continuing to look at Monstery boxing today. So far we've had a look very much at the basic attacks and the basic parries. What I want to look at today is some feints that Monstery says you can use. These are attacks where I'm going to deliberately deliver an attack I expect to fail, pardon me, in the hope that it will open up a line that I can get a solid attack in. Now, I'm going to show you these, but it's with the caveat that Monstery says these are not tricks you should use against a skilled boxer. These are designed to be used against uneducated lamps that might fall for these tricks. If you are dealing with someone who is a decent boxer, don't try these because they'll spot that your initial attacks are out of range and they will just flatten you. So just please be aware of that. This whole section comes with that caveat attached to it. So let's have a look. Sorry, if I move, just take a step towards me. So the first thing we're going to look at is probably his simplest feint, which starts from this situation where we're out of range, yeah? Because I don't want to start a fight here, yeah? Instead, fights start normally, there's going to be a bit of distance between us. So if I want to hit, as we looked at before, I step in and then throw my strike. However, what I'm going to do to start with is I'm going to throw a half-arm strike here. And he's just standing there impassively. As a trained boxer, he knows that that is nowhere near enough to actually hit me. However, if he was, say, less trained, he may well decide to defend against that strike. And that's great, because he's committed to a defense against something that was never going to hit him anyway. So what I'm going to do is throw that, and then as soon as he's thrown that, I'm going to step forward and pull into my high. Done my footing wrong as I've done that. So if I throw here, I'm going to pull back as I set the front foot forward, and as the back foot comes out, that sinks down into the solid plexus with quite a solid hit. So, again, I throw out of range, he blocks, I step in, boom, and I land a hit. So I never expected that first one to hit. And really, although that's how he writes it, you have to assume that as soon as my opponent takes the bait, I trigger phase one. So I start to punch, boom. I don't actually have to wait for that contact and for that parry to take effect. I'm going to go around it. Now obviously I can do this the other way as well. I could start here and I could turn my hand over into a low attack to get that low block. Yeah? And then actually I'm going to step in and step out to get the high block coming through once that's moved. So again, more realistically, start to throw it, doesn't work, boom. Yeah? So I'm making him parry and using up that arm. Now, of course that's fine, but the problem is he has another hand. So if I come in, as we were looking at in the very first one there, if I come in here, he parries up, and I step and come in here, he can use his cross block. Boom. Yeah? And now that fist, I know he's going to come straight back into my face on his next attack. So it's better to vary the side as well, and this is where Monstery spends most of his time talking about. So I'm going to throw my out of range attack here, and as I do that, I can now use this as my step forward, because I'm going to prime this hand at the same time. If we switch around, it's probably more obvious. You should know what this side looks like now. So as I throw this one, the reason that I was throwing it out of range, because I needed two movements of my feet to go movement one, movement two. But what I can do now is prime this hand as I'm throwing, so I can actually do it with an advance forward, because I'm going to do three things at once. I'm going to throw my fake, boom, step forward, and prime my other hand. Then as I step up, I can drive through that second attack straight away. So I can do all three at once, boom, boom. Yeah? Now this starts to feel much more like an attack you might make work. And of course I can throw out any variation of combinations. So I can do a high one, boom, boom, and it comes straight through. Because I've taken that step of timing out because I don't need to reprime my arm. So going left-right allows me to do this as a two-time rather than a three-time action, and much more likely to work. And that's really it. All there is just playing around with the different variations I have. So I could, from here, start with what a lot of people expect, this kind of high overhand strike here, which instantly people respond to because there's a big punch coming into effect. Whoa, yeah, that's great. If I'm doing that, bang! As I'm stepping in, it's leaving me those opportunities to get that. Now again, he says, don't do this if you're somebody who knows what they're doing, because all that's going to happen is I'm going to throw that first one, he's going to do nothing, because there's nothing to respond to. Yeah? As I've stepped in, now we're in the situation where, yeah, he could just hit me, because I've thrown an attack and this hand's out of play. So don't do it against someone who's good. But against someone who's not, or someone who maybe is good but is drunk, you might get away with these tactics, which allow you to just work around your opponent's guard. So hopefully that makes sense, but that kind of tags on a little bit on what we've been looking at in the previous weeks. And I think we've really only got 2 more that we're going to be looking at. So the next one's going to be looking at voids, how to dodge without actually, or how to dodge basically, yeah, how not to get hit, but without having to block. We're going to be using our feet to dodge, and then looking at how we can turn those into looking at some trips and some other little dirty tricks that we can throw in there as well. Sorry, I seem to be saying all the wrong words tonight, but you know what I mean. So we'll be coming over that the next couple of weeks, and that'll take us to the end of this little section on Monstery. So until then, have a good week, and we'll catch you next time.